the first time virtually. So this is virtual, yeah? And also, inshallah, will be followed with the face-to-face or physical MCLEAD later on, inshallah. I would like to express my gratitude and utmost appreciation to the organizing committee, to everyone who worked very hard to make this program a success. So congratulations, congratulations. And allow me also, if it's not too late, okay, to all the new MRCs, the new lineup of MRCs. So congratulations. I think Alhamdulillah, Mabruk to all of you. And I wish all of you all the best. Okay, inshallah, you can deliver and can contribute, okay, to the university, to IIUM, and to the community as a whole. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, okay, let me start to welcome all of you, okay, with a few important points that I would like to highlight today. Okay, year 2020, this year is so challenging. Okay, it's so challenging, and yeah, we experience new norms, or we experience renewed norms. Okay, and the pandemic really changed the way we think, the way we do, the way we plan. So, but despite these challenges, Alhamdulillah, okay, I would like to share with all of you that we still managed to achieve many great accomplishments in the at the university level. For example, this year we managed to emerge as the Sustainability Institution of the Year by the United Nations. And the United Nations University also recognized IIUM as the RCE, the Regional Center of Expert on Sustainable Educations. Okay, so this is, among others, the great achievement of the university despite the pandemic that we face. And not only that, I would like to highlight as well that our students also have achieved many significant and great accomplishments at the national level or at the international levels. So congratulations, and also the Mahallah. So Mahallah also is very busy and super active with numerous programs and activities. So I think I am still alive, and I believe that we can continue our activism, inshallah. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, to face the challenges of the pandemic and the post-pandemic world, we need to re-strategize our futures and our aspirations. So in this regard, the university, inshallah, will release, I think, early next year, the IIUM roadmaps 2021-2022. So this is just like a trailer, okay, to all of you. Then inshallah, by January, the university will make official announcement, the release of IIUM roadmap 2021-2022 documents, together with the preferred scenario visions 2040 IIUMs. Okay, together come with the Sejahtera academic frameworks. And these three documents will be very, very crucial, okay, for IIUM in order for us to create a new chapter, okay, a new dimension, a new things for IIUM, inshallah. And by 2023, so after 2022, the roadmap, by 2023, just to remind myself and everyone that we will celebrate the 40th anniversary of IIUM in 2023. So we must be ready towards preparing the Mahallah, okay, in facing the 40th anniversary of IIUM in 2023. So, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, we need more new and fresh ideas and insights, okay, and inshallah, okay, we need more high-impact initiative towards creating institutional stability, societal well-being, balanced graduates, and also to have a values creations. So students are the hope of the future. Students are the hope of the future, and the future is depending on you. And to all the new MRCs members, in the context of IIUM, we really need to unleash and unlock your potential. Okay, in IIUM we have about 30,000 students with more than 5,000 international students, with 5 campuses with diverse and very colorful backgrounds. But from my observation, we have a huge potential and rich talent and resources. So we must leverage, we must utilize, we must maximize, optimize these talents and the diverse background of our students. So talking about the student development, so now talking about the student development, we always think about shaping the today's mind and preparing our students to be a good, charismatic, and God-conscious leaders. So this is very important. Not only a good leaders, but we want to produce and to nurture a great leaders from good to great. Okay? And we need a new breed of leaders. Okay? In considering the new challenges, the post-pandemic world, which is more challenging, okay, we need a new breed of leaders who have the courage, who are strong, knowledgeable, ethical, wise, and virtuous. Okay, and it's also important, not only that, it's also important for the new breed of leaders, for the new MRCs members, inshallah, to have a cognitive competencies, who have a strategic visioning, very visionary leaders, and also passion with knowledge and justice. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, towards preparing our students to become excellent and God-conscious leaders, we must start with activism. So activism is a must. Okay, we must be a good leader, a great leaders with activism. Otherwise, we will not be a good leaders or we will not be a great leaders. The activism is a must. The activism will help you to experience and learn new things outside the lecture rooms, okay, either through activism in the club and societies, including with Mahallah. Mahallah who will give you many rooms, many opportunities for you to have your activism and then to develop, okay, your competencies and your leadership skills. Okay, and please spend your cognitive surplus, please spend your surplus of time, okay, for the humanities, for doing good deeds and in preparing yourself for the future, inshallah. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I hope that next year, okay, and 2021, and inshallah after 2021, 22, we promise another brighter year for IIUMs and also Mahallah. Okay, so Mahallah should not be a place for 3K, okay, for cocktail, cafe, and class. Okay, this is your narrative. Okay, Mahallah must go beyond 3K. Okay, Mahallah should be a sacred place, not only a place, a sacred place, okay, for the developments of the students. Mahallah is the place where we nurture and groom our students as a community of scholars. So I would like to consider that the Mahallah is no longer just like a hostel, but it's just no longer a students, but as a community of scholars, a community of young leaders that will contribute to the community, that will contribute to the Ummah. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I will not prolong my speech. Okay, after this, you will listen from Yang Berbahagia, Datuk Muhammad Daud Bakar, the president of IIUM. You must listen from him. Okay, a lot of words of wisdom from him. You have to learn from him because he's such a very charismatic and visionary, okay, leaders. Okay, so you must listen and try to absorb, try to learn, okay, from him, inshallah, from his session after this. And ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, once again, okay, allow me to congratulate everyone, especially to the organizer, okay, led by Ustaz Muhammad Rahman and the team. Congratulations. Thank you very much to all, to the principal, to fellows, to STAT, to RSD, to the BSB, and to MRCs, and to everyone, okay, for making this program, inshallah, a success. And let us together, build jama'ah, collectively make dua, so that this year, okay, and MRC leadership training, this virtual MRC leadership training, MCLEAD, will be a catalyst, okay, will be a catalyst towards creating harmonious, sustainable, more lively and scholarly environment at Mahallah. Let us together create a new environment, bi'ah salihah in Mahallah. So take care, stay safe and stay healthy. And last but not least, I wish the MRC leadership training a great success and all the best to all new MRC's members. So make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih. Thank you, Dr. Zul, for your speech just now. I hope our MRC fellow and principal have some inspiration from what you have told us just now. So the next session will be delivered by Yang Berbahagia Datuk Dr. Muhammad Daud Bakar. May I ask, is Yang Berbahagia Datuk Dr. is already in the Zoom or not? So if not yet, then we wait for our guest.
Datuk will join at 2:05, eh?
2:05,
5 minutes after 2.
Okay. So we have 5 more minutes.
Okay, Dr. Zahmat, Dr. Zahmat.
Jazakallah khairul jazak.
So
Alhamdulillah. So who is the technical team ni? Power.
Siapa technical team? Dr. Zul tanya ni. Power ni.
Dapat daripada ITD, Dr. Zul.
Okay. Alhamdulillah.
But for now, our technical team is Dr. Zahirani for this session.
Wow,
Thank you, Dr. Zahir.
Good.
So before we wait for our guest, any question you want to throw to our Dr. Zul while he's in here from MRC? I think this is the first time we do MCLEAD in 2 parts, Dr. Zul, part 1 and part 2.
Yes, exactly. For the first time, virtual MCLEAD,
Virtual
Alhamdulillah. I think this year, every program for the first time.
Of course, there are pro and cons.
Yeah, student Mustang Award. Yesterday we had a student IIUM virtual Mustang Award. I think very interesting. How do we organize award event during the pandemic virtually? Interesting. Okay, so hopefully that the new MRCs will inshallah contribute and deliver. Okay, and just bear in mind that your times will be different with your seniors because you will face different challenges, inshallah, different challenges.
Yeah, I think MRC for this academic year will face a lot of different challenges. Not only the MRC, we, the principal and fellow are also, and of course, Dr. Zul as well, are facing new problems, new challenges.
Exactly.
So hopefully we can work as a team with the principal and also the MRC and also the fellows to overcome all these challenges.
Yeah, I think no options. We must work together. Okay, we must support each other. Okay, we need new ideas. So esports, inshallah, we'll finish by next week.
Yes, inshallah.
Esports. Surprisingly, sisters, not that bad. Esports.
Bakat terpendam, betul.
Okay, alright. Okay, I think in the future no need to have a sisters category of male categories, kan? So we just compete, sisters and brothers. So how many? Oh, almost 200, Wow. Good.
Host, please mute.
Dr. Zul, perhaps before we start with our president, probably one short question to you. Dr. Zul?
Okay, go ahead, Dr. Chirazi.
Probably with the current situation now, we have half of our participants outside of university and half in UIA. Probably a very precise advice for you. How are we going to MRC, especially how are they have to work hand in hand actually for this for the new tenure?
So all the MRC's members now on campus, so or only
half
still, okay, half only, yeah.
For Osman, we have only 6. I don't know the other Mahallah. I think it's about the same.
All right. I think to give my short reflection on the Daud already there. Okay, we continue our conversation. The president is here.
Terima kasih Dr. Zul. Thank you Dr. Chirazi. Assalamualaikum Datuk Dr. Muhammad Daud. Apa khabar, sihat kan?
Alhamdulillah, sihat. Alhamdulillah.
So first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you to the MCLEAD program. This is for your information. Let me give some background on the program MCLEAD that we are having for today. This is the only time where we assemble, where all of the MRC from all Mahallah, from the campus of Gombak, campus of Kuantan, and campus of Pagoh, to join in together to have a program where the focus is on the leadership. And as we know, Mahallah Representative Committee or MRC is one of the integral component in the Mahallah infrastructure. Not only they function as the first contact with the Mahallah resident and organizing beneficial program for internal and external community, MRC also assists the Mahallah administration from time to time. Members from MRCs can also be considered as a model student at the Mahallah, whereas they often exhibit good behavior and excel in their academics. In line with the intention of our falsafah pendidikan kebangsaan, which is to produce holistic graduates, one of the most important elements is the leadership, in order to build the trait of future graduates. And for MRC, of course, once they become a student leader inside the campus, no doubt they will become a future leaders later on. And to become a good or successful, efficient future leaders, it is very important to have a good mind. I would like to take this opportunity, if Dato allow me to introduce, for me to give some background on the speaker for today. Currently, he is the chairman of trustee holder Yayasan Pembangunan Ekonomi Islam Malaysia, YAPIM. He also served as a member of Shariah Advisory Panel for Islamic Finance Institution in Malaysia and abroad. Moreover, he is also the founder of Amani Advisors and Islamic Finance Advisory Company. He received his early education at Sekolah Kebangsaan Sungai Korok, Alostar, Kedah from 1970 to 1976, Maktab Mahmud 1977 to 1979, and College Islam Kelang 1980 to 1983. Next, he furthered his study in Shariah at University of Kuwait 1983 to 1988 and got his PhD from University of St. Andrews, United Kingdom from the year 1990 to 1993. Years after that, he obtained his second degree in jurisprudence. Am I pronouncing that right, Dato?
Yes, exactly.
Jurisprudence from University of Malaya, Kuala Lumpur, 1996 to 2002. In 2014, Datuk Dr. Muhammad Daud Bakar received the Most Outstanding Individual Award by His Majesty the King of Malaysia in conjunction with the national level Prophet Muhammad SAW birthday. In 2016, he then received the Award of Excellence for Outstanding Contribution for Shariah and Advisory at London Sukuk Summit Awards and Shariah Advisor Award at the AAA Islamic Finance Award. His publication include articles in various academic journals and presentation of more than 150 papers in both local and international conferences. His first book, entitled Shariah Mind in Islamic Finance, an inside story of a Shariah scholar, who has won the Islamic Finance Book of the Year 2016 by the Global Islamic Finance Award. Until today, Dr. Muhammad Daud has been active and a well-known supporter of Islamic finance. So I think without further delay, I would like to welcome Yang Berbahagia Datuk Dr. Muhammad Daud Bakar to give his talk relating to our topic today, Shariah Mind for Future Leader. Silakan Datuk.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah alladzi bi ni'matihi tatimmu shalihat wassalatu wassalam ala an-nabiyil amin al-mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, amma ba'd. Thank you Brother Moderator Ahmad Zahirani, respected Associate Professor Dzulkifli Hassan, the Deputy Rector for Student Affairs and Community Development, distinguished principal, fellows, and my beloved son and daughters, the student leaders from MRC. May Allah bless all of us. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I'm very delighted to be invited to speak to all of you, not only students but also the fellow academician, the principal, and the fellows, together with MRC, student leaders. This MCLEAD is very important program. Perhaps MCLEAD has been there for many years. Is that right? Sounds familiar to me during my time at the university. I hope I'm right in my assumption. Nevertheless, leadership has been always evergreen in the Quran, because the Quran was revealed to take the leadership. The Quran was not revealed to be the passenger at the in the car. We have to take the leadership of the world. The Quran was revealed to change the world and to transform the world into the template and the mold that the Quran has been entrusted to create and to craft the humanity on this planet. So leadership is the ultimate purpose of the revelation. There's no meaning of revelation if the wahyu, the revelation, has no ending. And the ending has been the leadership of the humanity, leadership of the world. Of course, leadership will encompass so many dimensions. There's no need for me to go through this dimension. You have been taught in the classroom. You have been, inspired by many great scholars, professors in many core curriculum activities. But suffice for me to mention that leadership is, multifold, is pervasive, has no definition, has no limitation. And leadership is also living organism. It changes from time to time. The leadership is not stagnant, because the leader and the leader and the follower are also changing very fast nowadays. So first and foremost, that's why the Quran was revealed in a very eclectic mood. It's not fixed. It's not carved into stone. The Quran was revealed with the principle, with the magazine, with the mantra that can go on and go on for many, many years, many centuries until the day of judgment. The same goes to leadership. So the first Shariah mind with regard to leadership, it is not static. It is very much evolving. The first mistake that many leaders or so-called leaders have committed when they started thinking it's only one way of leadership, it's only one form of asserting your leadership, either A or B, there's no other option. And this is the first mistake that we need to take note seriously. And it happened among the student leaders all the way. They are very slow to change the perception of leadership. When it comes to politicians, they are very fast. They can change in no time because they know the leadership is about changing based on the needs of of life, of the community, of the data, of the facts of life. But when it comes to the leaders, to be honest, I'm going to be very transparent. Student leaders are very reluctant and to change. They're very adamant with their lifestyle of leadership. They thought in 4 years of their stay at the university, when they were appointed to become leaders, they have to continue doing the same thing over and over and over until they are done. When they go out to the market, only then they realize they have wasted their energy, they have wasted their, ability to transform themselves to becoming a better leader because they were trapped in their own mindset. So the Shariah mind, or the Quranic mind for that matter, will challenge the leadership. If you pick up any great profile in the Quran, either the prophets and the messengers, alaihimussalatu wassalam, or the pious people mentioned in the Quran. There are many mentioned in the Quran. Also, some great, personality like Dzulkifli, for example. If you look into the leadership style of Al-Qarnayn, you can see that leadership is very much fast-moving. Even during his time, when he was offered to build a very heavy, what should I say, firewall or wall for that matter, in this context, and he was hinting, of course, in the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that when the time comes in the future, فَإِذَا جَاءَ وَعْدُ رَبِّكَ جَعَلَهُ دَكَّ. And he was mentioning as if from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when the time comes for this wall to disappear, to demolish bottom, to demolish top down. Dakka in Arabic means from the top all the way to the bottom. This is the meaning of Dakka, when the time has come for the wall to demolish entirely. There's no hope because it comes from the top. When the top drop, everything will drop. Ja'alahu Dakka, meaning to say, he was hinting to us, the readers of the Quran, that even the technology that he brought to his time will not sustain long. The technology that he has crafted and he has put his effort, he's aware that the next generation will have to have new way of maintaining or sustaining or facing the Ya'juj and Ma'juj in many tafsir of the Quran. So we need to be very much fast moving and fast evolving to see into the changings of the variable and the situation of the society. So this is the first thing, that when you read the Quran, you have to read the Quran to get the Shariah mind, with the mind that the Quran is talking to us, to take the lesson between the words and not simply taking the meaning literally. Many do, unfortunately. So the Quran was not meant to be understood literally. Yes, no harm, but the Quran is very amazing and intelligent book. It does not speak at one level, it speaks with so many levels. So student leaders, even the Muslim at large, have to say, we need to take the Quran more intelligently. We need to deal with the Quran more inquisitively, because the Quran is not a simple book. It's not a book of stories, it's not a book of whatever document. It is beyond any knowledge of human being. The more we read the Quran properly, the more we can get the real mindset of the Quran. So the first thing, Ahmad Zaharani and all the principal and fellows, as student leader, we need to see our new context in the MRC. What are the new issues? What are the new demands of the student? Of course, we assume that students are coming back to the campus. We need to see the new leadership in terms of hygiene, in terms of student depression, in terms of student way of communication. Perhaps they have to stay late at night to get the the computer lab. So we need to see the whole thing. Everything must change. Interestingly, I have had some discussion before yesterday. COVID-19 has struck the whole nation for the last almost 1 year. December now coming up. It was 26 December when the first virus was detected in Wuhan city. Now we are approaching 26 December, so almost 1 year. But on the ground, nothing has changed. Our syllabus has not changed at the university. The same assessment, Dr. Zul, I mean, you are there still, I hope, has not changed. In fact, the lecturers are expecting more assignment from the student, which is uncalled for, which create more depressed among the students. So everything has changed. We put the mask, we use the sanitizer, but with regard to something which is not related to health issue, we have not changed. The leadership has not changed. So we expect the student to be the same student. They have plenty time at home. We thought they have plenty of time, plenty of whatever resources to study. The assessment has not changed. The content, the dose of syllabus has not changed, and this is quite unfortunate. I'm not going to go into detail, but you can pick up the knowledge, and the knowledge from the first lesson. Leadership is about managing the change. Okay, leadership is about managing the change. If you cannot see the change, you cannot lead, and you cannot manage the community. So the first is to manage the change. And before you can manage the change, you have to understand what is happening surrounding you, either at the university level, at the area, Gombak or Selangor, for that matter, national level, at global level. I hope it is good enough for the first thing. Leadership is about managing the change. And the Quran talk about change from cover to cover. Without realizing it, Quran has impressed on us, look into the changes happening in the family institution, in the environment context, water, rain, cattle, insects, all the way to human behavior and attitude, and so on and so forth. So this is the first thing. The second thing, which is very, very important, perhaps is second to none. Of course, the leadership is about change, managing the change. It's about role model. I think Brother Zahirani mentioned about the role model, Suri Teladan. There's no point of, becoming a leader where there's no motivation or there's no impetus for the students, for the community to look high at you. So you need to impress on your community members that you have something to share, that you have something which they don't have. You are their exemplary student leaders or student in terms of achievement and performance. So the role model is very important. Innaka la'ala khuluqin azim, and so on and so forth, that you indeed is put on the pedestal of the real role model. You have possessed all the good attribute for you to be granted the title of Khuluqin Azim, that you have possessed all the good character and behavior. And this is referring to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And in other verses of the Quran, from cover to cover, the Quran mentioned about the prophets, either in respective surah or in many particular verses, that they are the one who led or lead by example. These are the prophets, and they are the prophets of strong mind, strong character, and they are in fact they are the one who control or who enjoy, if you like, who enjoy the trust of the people. That's why the first thing that the unbelievers would do is to demolish the feeling of trust that the other community would have against the prophets of the nation, of their own particular nation at any given time. So this is the trust that the prophet enjoyed. So do we have the trust? when we see something, do the student listen to us? Is something that we need to ask ourselves, and this is very important. And as we are living in a time where a trust deficit is common, many leaders, people don't trust them anymore. They are leaders because they have the power. They are leaders because they were appointed. They are leaders because they have all the privilege to make to install upon them the leadership. But to be honest, if you ask the people don't trust them anymore. There's no point of becoming a leader where you have lost the trust of the people. And for us and for you and for for me and everyone to become the leader, we need to command and enjoy the ultimate trust by the community. And the theme of trust, the theme of fiqh, the theme of giving the full respect to the prophets and the messengers is very much scattered throughout the Quran. There's no need for me to go through, and at the university, International Summit University, you have all the time, you have all the lecturers, all the opportunities to dig the very meaning of leadership from the role model and trust perspective. The third element coming from Shariah mind with regard to leadership, nimble. I think again, many good leaders, they are very nimble. They're very nimble. The Prophet was so nimble. He knew how to deal with animal. He knew how to deal with the poor people. He knew how to deal with sophisticated and elite group of people in the society. In fact, he was very conversant and very knowledgeable, of course guided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to deal with the number one of the enemy state, to deal with number one of the enemy state. And he was so nimble. Of course, he was allowed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to shed the blood during the Fathu Makkah, during the victory or the opening of the city of Makkah, because during the certain month or throughout the years in Makkah, we cannot kill anyone, even the animal and insect we can't kill. So how can the Prophet come to Makkah with the battalion, with the soldiers entering the Makkah without killing anyone? So Prophet was in the hadith, he was given sa'ah, I mean to say 1 hour or perhaps a moment for him and his soldier to shed the blood if needs be or if necessary. But he was so nimble in his approach, and he was saying that among others, there are 3 things he has mentioned as a leader. Very interesting concept. Confrontation is not the issue at all. He can go and confront every single soldier in city of Makkah. He can overwhelm them. He can overtake them, given the numbers of the number of Muslim soldiers. But he declined to do that. Instead, the Prophet ﷺ has said, "Man dakhala dar Abu Sufyan fahuwa amin." Whoever enters into the house of Abu Sufyan, number one, the ruler of Mecca, the chief marshal of Mecca, you call it whatever it is, whoever enters the house of Abu Sufyan, he would be safe from any killing or to be killed by the Muslim. And in fact, by saying that, he managed to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Number one, he encouraged people to go and take refuge in the house of Abu Sufyan. Number 2, he gave a kind of respect to the ruler of Mecca by not going out and putting the soldier to fight back the attack or the coming of the Muslim from Medina. Abu Sufyan was so cool. He said, well, if the Prophet has given his respect to me, why should I fight him? I better stay at my house. So this is very nimble kind of attitude. I wanted to add here, I have written a lot in my books. I tend to discover lately that all the good attitude, good attitude that we have, akhlaq and what have you. We talk about berani, for example, brevity. We talk about perseverant. We talk about even the issue of nimble, to be nimble, flexible, easy to change our strategy. I have discovered, interestingly, I started writing about this theory. They are not only relevant to our attitude, our behavior, but to our mindset. So if you are good and nimble in your attitude, you should be nimble in your mindset, the thinking process. If you are courageous in your attitude, you have to have mental courage as well. But mental courage is much more powerful than the behavioral courage. And this is something I started to realize when the Quran mentioned about one thing, perhaps sidq, benar ataupun truthful. It does not only talk about your attitude, your organs to be good, your tongue, your action, but also your mind, because the mind is everything. So this is something I wanted to share with you. Perhaps this could be one of discussion. The Quran never distinguish between mind and the organ in whatever expression coming from the Quran. This is something academically speaking, but I like the idea, and that make the whole thing more interesting when you read the Quran and try to get the Shariah mind from the Quran. Okay, the last point, I think we can open the session afterward. I'm not someone like to speak more than half an hour in my presentation. I follow the Hitler way of doing things. You know the Hitler, Adolf Hitler, and he said when you give the speech, don't ever go beyond 10 minutes or 15 minutes, because after 15 minutes, people tend to get bored. Not the student leaders MRC, they can go for 3 hours, but I mean, I wanted to stop at half an hour still. Perhaps the last two comments, I need 5 minutes or so. We need to be futurists. Leaders are futurists. They can think faster than others. They can look further than others. They can smell the coming of the wind before the wind has actually come to the city. So this is the leaders. If you cannot smell the future, if you cannot sense the future, I think you need to do more to see what will be coming to the MRC or the Mahallah administration in terms of problem, opportunities, good news, bad news. So you have to be futurist enough to be able to underscore your leadership. Again, in the Quran is interesting. It is about the book of the past, the book of the present, and the book of the future. But you conclude everything, in my own conclusion, the Quran was not the book of the past. Even when the Quran talked about the past, the Quran wanted to bring all of us to think about the future. There's no value of the past. The past is past, as said in the English proverb. You cannot bring back the past, but the Quran mentioned about the past for us to think about the future. The value of the Quran is the future, and the future all the way to the day of judgment, all the way to beyond the day of judgment. So to link back to my opening remark, we are given the Quran to change the world and to take the leadership of the world. And the last one, Shariah mind is always coherent, is always interconnected. I have seen many leaders at all levels. I was student leader as well in my own context in overseas, Middle East and UK for that matter, managing students from all over the world. I do believe in very much Malaysian-centric kind of student. I belong to student activity beyond Malaysian. As yes, we have Malaysian student union, whatever they call it, but I do believe in that. I give some time, but I really believe in the global and ummatic student activities forces. I also part of so many things. I also joined the Labour Party and the Conservative Party when I was doing PhD, not because I like them. But I wanted to learn from the student activists in these two parties in UK. So that make your presence in UK worthwhile, because you are there to study for 3 years for your PhD. It will be a waste of time and resources not to benefit from the thinking process of those people in the political party. I was part of the many other movement, even among the English or the Scottish people for that matter, try to understand in their mindset. Whereas at the same time, I'm also the president of Islamic Society and the other group of student, societies and association. What I wanted to mention over here, we need to be coherent and interconnectedness. Many leaders, they don't want to be connected. They wanted to have a silo mindset, easy to manage. Take the order, take it or leave it. This is not the way forward of leadership. Leadership or leader for that matter need to be interconnected with his ESCO members, with his community members, with the lecturers, with the community at large. It's not easy though. It's just easy to lead by one person or by few ESCO members. Easy to do that. But this is not the way the Shariah mind has been working. We need to be able to connect ourselves to the wider community. وَأَمْرُهُمْ شُورٌ بَيْنَهُمْ. If you understand Arabic well, in 3 words, Allah has mentioned about interconnectedness, that we cannot run away. وَأَمْرُهُمْ. The Quran does not say وَأَمْرُ, no, وَالْأَمْرُ. وَأَمْرُهُمْ. Their affairs has been mentioned clearly. Shura is the work of many parties coming together, not taking the view, but mutually taking the view. The word shura means coming together. Bainahum, Allah has repeated again, bainahum, among them. So there's no need, from the human sense perspective, to repeat collective meaning of home and there many times, but this is not the case. Wa amruhum shura bainahum. The same meaning in 3 different words in one particular phrase of the Quran. So I think with that, I wanted to end my presentation. I'm sure you are very intelligent student leaders. You can pick up the point I wanted to share with you. You can develop those points into a more practical blueprint so that you could become a better leader in managing the Mahallah administration, helping your beloved principal and fellows to attend to the problem of our fellow student living in a new environment post-COVID or during the COVID-19. Your job is so pervasive. I don't envy you. You have all the job. Sometimes your job is much bigger than the lecturers because the lecturers teach you online, but when students stay at the hostel, you have to face them, you have to listen to them, and you have to interact with them. And your job is to compile all the issues, discuss shura mutually among yourself, and try to take the new leadership role, the way you do things, the way you learn, the way you listen to them, the way you construct all the resolution must be new and entirely different as we are living in a new environment. I think with that, I would like to thank the organizers for having me to share some thought, not structured though. I've not prepared any draft of my speech. I'm on the move all the time. Just take the opportunity to share some skeleton of ideas and insight. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of us and make us really good leaders, that we are leading the world in the hereafter, and inshallah we are leaders of our nation in the hereafter when Allah reward us double because of our effort and our commitment to lead people to the right thing and to solve their problem. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Dr. Muhammad Daud, for your sharing just now. I hope the student will find it very beneficial. If you ask me, it was very beneficial for me, especially the part on the nimble. That is the first time I heard about it. So can we, Dato, can we have some Q&A session from the students if they have any question?
Yes, by all means, my pleasure.
Okay, so for MRC, if you have any question and you would like to ask the speaker for today, so please unmute your mic, tell us your name, which Mahallah you're from, and give your question.
Yeah. Uh,
Adam ada nak tanya? Do you want to ask something, Adam?
I have a question.
Okay, Abali. Abali, silakan.
Yes. Hi, my name is Muhammad Amali Shah Mibi Rosdi. I am from Mahallah Ali. My question is, what is the most important things or any knowledge that you wish you know when you are young before you involve in any managing or leadership involvement?
Again, can I have the question again? I might miss the first part of your question.
What is the most important knowledge or things that you wish you know when you were young before you involved in any leadership or management things?
Thank you very much, brother. Cannot get your name, but should be brother, not sister, surely.
Amali, sir. Brother
Normally,
Amali.
I'm joking just now. Yes, I think there are many things that you need to take cognizant when you were young before you enter into real life. As for me, I have done a lot of mistakes. I have done a lot of things that I should have not done when I was student, either at the first degree or even at PhD level. Perhaps I can share some of them with you. I cannot share all of them because it will be very, intimidating to me as a person. Number one, I think I was so idealistic. Idealistic cannot help to solve the problem. Idealistic cannot even, remove the needle from the floor. Idealistic cannot, what more to change the world. You have to be nimble rather than idealistic. You have to understand the need of the society within their capacity. Fattakullah wastaqullah mastata'tum. Even the taqwa, you have to be fearful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala according to your ability. And there are many ayah saying that this is the current state of the people. You cannot have one standard for everyone. So having one standard for everyone was my mistake in the past. Number two, I didn't read that much. So I was relying on the lecture by someone whom I respected, whom I consider as my teacher and what have you. And that was the biggest mistake, because if you have read more than one or two books, or in fact you have more than one guru, one mentor, and one coaches for that matter, your perspective will be wider and better, and you have a collective wisdom, not one wisdom, collective wisdom. I was lacking in terms of my collective wisdom. Wisdom is not good enough, brothers and sisters. We need to have a collective wisdom. The third, I think, when I was young and I was student leader as well, I didn't manage to grow the teamwork. I tend to do everything by myself. I was the one who, do the write-up. I was the one who bring the material to photocopy machine. I was the one, blah, 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 everything. I was the one who take the bus to see my junior student during weekend, give them the lecture, play with them in the Friday morning in Kuwait at 6 a.m. in the morning. So I was the one who managed to prepare even the breakfast for them to have some refreshment after the football exercise in the morning. So I was the one, yes, I was active, but this was not a good leader. A good leader is not someone who is active, but someone who can activate everyone to be part of the group. So a good leader is not the most active one, but it's the most intelligent one to make use of the resources of his or her team in the organization. Books I like, which is my advantage in the past. I spent a lot of time reading book of history and the profile of the people. That helped a lot. The youngsters nowadays, they don't read the profile of the people. They like to read academic books and perhaps idea book, but they don't read the biographies of the people. and they do read novel. So novels and biographies would change a lot of perspective because you become more real and not that idealistic. So these are the two things, the negative part of it and the positive part of it. I can complement the two by reading a lot of biographies, and the more I read biographies, I become different personality. The more I pick up Manaqib Imam Shafi'i, when I'm done with his Manaqib, his biography, I feel different personality. I pick up Ahmad bin Hanbal, Abu Hassan al-Nadawi, I pick up even the Richard Branson nowadays, and Nelson Mandela, I become different personality. And that should be the way for the student leaders. You cannot be confining to books, textbook. You have to read the book of the people.
Okay, thank you, Datuk, for the answer. Any more question from Marcy? So I don't think you will get this opportunity every day to get asking question to our Honorable President.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Silakan.
Okay. My name is Muhammad Muaz bin Muhammad from Mahallah Khalid Al-Walid UAE Kuantan. So I have a question to Dr. Daud regarding about how you said about a leader should be a role model.
Yeah.
So did you believe that actually leaders should be good at everything? Because somehow I once believed that we as a leader we have to be good at everything in terms of academic, sports, and all of it. So did you also believe that actually this kind of way of thinking is actually too idealistic? So can you give your opinion? Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Muaz from Khalid bin Walid Battalion. You look into Khalid, Sayyidina Khalid bin Walid. He was not perfect in all aspects. He knew how to fight, and he knew how to put the right strategy to win the battle. And he was convinced that Islam is the right religion. He left the city of Mecca quietly. He came to Medina on his own after the battle of Khandaq or Ahzab for that matter, and he embraced Islam. And all the way, he knew how to fight. He knew how to fight, and he didn't know how to put the knowledge and whatnot. So I don't believe a leader should be knowledgeable in all aspects of life. Perhaps it was possible in the past, but nowadays impossible. I don't think we can expect a leader to know almost everything, even not all of the, even almost everything. He cannot be expected to have that kind of attribute. What is important for a leader is to be able to recognize the ability of his followers, of his team members, that someone is good in marketing, in branding, in mobilizing people, in soliciting fund, in the communication narrative, in the strategic discussion, in back-end officers, typing and minutes writing, minutes taking and whatnot. So a leader should be able to see through the capability of his followers and his team members. This is a must nowadays, and that's why the Quran was so right. وَأَمْرُهُمْ شُورَى بَيْنَهُمْ, that even the Prophet, he can do on his own without getting any help from anyone. Even the Prophet was asked to consult وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ. The Prophet was asked to consult his own people, a direction, a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the Prophet, what more to all of us. So having said that, Brother Muaz, you cannot be the expert of everything, but if you read the novel and the biographies of people, you will get that knowledge. You read Richard Branson, you know about the aviation industry. You read Nelson Mandela, you know about the apartheid policy and the tension between the white and the black and the strategies of oppression and whatnot. If you read, Tan Sri Fernandez, for example, you know how to manage a startup company for aviation, where he bought the company which failed for $1, 1 ringgit, and how did he started the whole industry from leasing 1 or 2 aircraft. And you read the story of Pakistan Airline, which I did. They borrowed, the Emeritus Airline, the most famous airline in the world. They started by borrowing 2 or 3 aircraft from Pakistan Airline, and the captain and the stewardess even from Pakistan to work for them for what 2-3 years. So the moment you read about the chemistry, the physics, the war of the world, about everything, you can fast track your knowledge. As a leader, I have to share with you, you have all the time, alhamdulillah, you have all the resources, digital or otherwise, to speed up your knowledge, to expedite your learning curve. In our time, our learning curve is so slow, book by book. We cannot have the internet. We have to go through all the books to get the knowledge. But now you can put the keyword and you know everything. You wanted to know about the movement of, let's say the movement of people who do not like child labor, for example. So what are the companies are being involved in child labor? Nike, for example, Adidas, for example. So you can pick up child labor and you can learn about the issue in split second, before the blink of an eye, if you like. So you are lucky, but I would encourage, yes, we are not the expert of everyone, of everything, but you can be not the expert. You know what is happening around the globe by reading either the novel of the people or by putting the right keyword. Make sure you have every day 1 keyword that you wanted to check. Keyword is very important. Keyword is a new discipline that you were not taught in the classroom. Perhaps I wanted to teach you now. Keyword is the way forward. I make the point every day. I wanted to check 1 keyword, even the meaning of something. I wanted to check the meaning of mindfulness in terms of the origin of the language in the Greek, in the Latin civilization, the meaning, the origin of mindfulness, and you can get the real meaning of mindfulness. Bukan agak-agak, bukan guessing work, but this is something, the keyword is your generation. I hope I have answered your question, Muaz. Be ambitious, but not too ambitious. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Perhaps you can suggest us highly recommended books that you can read as a leader.
There are many books. It would be unfair for me to discriminate the knowledge by giving you 1 or 2 books. I would say any book in the genre of bibliographies or biographies will be great. Pick up any book of biographies. What changed my perspective when I was on the visit to South Africa, I bought the book when I returned from the visit to the Robben Island, a small island where Nelson Mandela was prisoned for about 22 years or 23 years. I bought the book at the jetty, the harbor at the Cape Town. I started reading the book in the hotel all night long, and I was motivated, and I can start thinking as thinker, as a leader, because he was a great leader. He commanded the movement from the prison during that time. And I learned how did he communicate with Muslim community, how did he communicate with the African, with so many tribes in Africa, and what word he used, what word he didn't use. So this is something that opened up my mind. You can pick up the same book, Long Walk for Freedom, I think, by Nelson Mandela. Then the rest of the book is very much, the same algorithm with the first book I have read. So don't confine to any book. You can pick up any book, and hopefully you will enjoy. The book is not about the first and the last. The book is the catalyst. The first book you read it, it will urge you to read more books in the future. This is the good signal or sign that you are a good reader and you have internalized what you have read and you wanted to read more, faster, quicker, and smarter. This is the sign of the leader. Many leaders nowadays don't read, and they are not great leaders because their mindset is very narrow-minded. When you interact with them beyond their expertise, I'm not saying they should be expert in everything, but they are stuck. They know how to relate their knowledge with the many other immediate and relevant issues in the society. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Pleasure.
Terima kasih. Thank you, Datuk, for the answer just now. I think we can have one more question. There is a question from the chat. Allow me to read on behalf of the student Nur Hanani Muhammad Fauzi. I am wondering, how can we truly follow or adopt the leadership shown in the Quran in this current day and age, especially during the pandemics, as there are too many differing variables to manage that we tend to lose track?
Tough question. I'm here to take only easy question. I think MRC, you are great leaders. You have a student from all field of specialization, from Kuantan, Pago, Gombak, and what have you. You have good principal, good fellows. Set up your WhatsApp group or whatever, your Zoom group, whatever it is. Try to pick up one or two issues surrounding your own area, Mahallah and recession, and try to list down what are the most commonly discussed issues at the moment. Let's say out of 100, perhaps you can zero into 20 or 10 or 15 of them and discuss among yourself, guided by the Quran, guided by your own knowledge, and try to put the solution. And this is the only way. Leadership is about learning. Okay, leadership is about learning. Leadership is not about acting. People wanted to act without learning, which is wrong. You have to be able to know how to learn, how to discuss, how to share your notes, how to open up yourself. And this is a good platform. You have a great, advisor, Dr. Zol, and many other great principal and fellows. Open up your own ways of looking into our own problem. I'm sure if I'm your position, I can start doing so many things to help our immediate stakeholders, our student, 100 student, perhaps 100 type of problem. Okay, so you have to be able to provide 100 solution to 100 student coming and residing at the Mahallah during this difficult time. So I don't have the specific answer to you. I'm also learning, I'm also reading, I'm also thinking and analyzing in my own world of financial sector, of economics development, of making education accessible to everyone, of putting the right strategies to connect the dot in our community, our nation. There are many dotted line in our community, but they are not connected. They are not, as mentioned, cohesive and interconnectedness. Leaders must be able to connect all the dots. My job at my own world is to connect all the dots to make sure that we can function better and we can serve the community to the best of our knowledge. We cannot be perfect. Don't try to be a perfect leader. You can't. In fact, the moment you think you are perfect, you know everything, and you are the custodian of the truth, no one is not right. You are the one who can claim that you have the seal of truth, the seal of perfection. You are the least person on this planet. So this is something that I have to address. Leader cannot be thinking that he has everything and he knows everything. This is the first leader to succumb to failure. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dato. I think we have reached to the end of our session for this session. So on behalf of the organizers,
what do you think about the presentation today? Because I was so subtle, not that academic, very much informal. I hope that will meet your expectation. This is my way of talking to you. I don't have any paper, any presentation, any slide for that matter. I hope this does not downgrade your IQ as a student leaders.
Okay, I think it's a very good session, Dato. Even the students are asking tough questions.
Okay.
And it's good that they have some communication, voicing out what is their concern on the behalf of the student.
Okay.
Okay. So on behalf of the organizers, I would like to apologize if there's any weaknesses, shortcoming from my session. Again, I thank you, Dato, for your time to participate in the MCLEAD. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
So for our for the program MCLEAD. After this, we supposedly to have a talk by our Honorable Rector, Professor Emeritus Tan Sri Datuk Dzulkifli Abdul Razak, the Rector of IIUM. Can you hold on for a few minutes for me to get confirmation?
Dr. Zahir, our rector not available because he have meeting.
Okay. So I was just informed by Dr. Muhammad, by Ustaz Muhammad just now, is that our Honorable Rector will not be joining our session today. So Ustaz Muhammad, can I dismiss the session?
Okay, can.
Okay, before that, let me go through on our schedule for the MCLEAD first phase, starting from 17 December to 19 December. This is day 1. We start at 2 p.m. Shariah Mind for Future Leaders. And since there is no session after this, then you can end. For tomorrow, we start at 2 p.m. On 2:15, there will be a special slot on psychological first aid and helping skills. Speaker will be by Madam Nur Masturah binti Muhammad Arif, Counseling and Career Services Center, IIUM. And then on the evening at 8 p.m., opening session, Forum with Murabi, Insensitivity Among Students versus Triple I's. I think this will be a very interesting session. And then we continue on Saturday on 9:15 p.m. Sembang Santai with Stat and Finance IIUM, overview on stat structure, general program guideline and requirement by Dr. Hamdira, briefing on student program and spec guideline, briefing on Anugerah Tokoh Siswa, briefing on financial matters. And then on 11 a.m., Module 1, Insight with the Expert, breakout session. This one will be break down into your own portfolio. And then we continue at 2:20, Module 2, Strategic Planning for Mahallah, will be conducted by Dr. Faris and Dr. Zainal Abidin from OSTIC office. And then we end that day around 5 p.m. Okay, I think with that, I would like to thank you all of MRC for your participation and cooperation in today's session. On behalf of the organizers, I apologize for any shortcoming from my session today. Again, thank you for those who are asking difficult questions. It's good to see that our young leaders have the courage to ask questions. So thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Dr. Zahir.
Don't forget for MRC to sign your attendance.